I'm building a raised garden bed. They say there's a few advantages of raised garden beds. One of them is you don't have to bend down as far. Another one is better drainage. Another one is you have better control over the soil. There's less erosion or wash away. I read a few other ones, but I'm going to do a raised garden bed here and try not to have my dog attack me. You want to be on camera? Is that your problem? All right. So here we go. This is going to be 10 by 5. Everything I read says that they should be 10 by 4. However, I don't mind reaching a little bit, so I'm going to go with 10 by 5. The wood that I'm using are 2 by 6s. I'm going to stack 2 on top of each other, so it's going to be a foot deep raised garden bed. The 2 by 6s are 10 foot long. They are untreated 2 by 6s. You could see that I went and I made the first outline 6 inches tall of the bed. Now these little things you could see are railing off of a deck. They are treated, but they'll be on the outside. They shouldn't be much contact with the actual dirt I'm gardening with. Now what I did was I cut those in half at an angle, the deck things, and I'm pegging them around. Now what I'm going to do is I got the first layer on, I'm going to peg all the corners around, and I'm going to dump a whole bunch of that stick mulch or humus into there, and I'll give you an update when we get that far along. Gonna be on camera again, Hux? Another benefit of the raised bed garden is that once you get the dirt in the garden, then there's no foot traffic on it. So I started with 2 yards of mulch or dirt there. Coming along here, the only nails I used were in the first go around. Notice I got all my stakes in now, and as I fill the dirt, I shouldn't have to use any more nails, because as you can see, this will just fall inward. I just set it down here, there's no nails in it. However, it's leaning back on these posts, so as I fill it from the inside, the pressure is these posts are gonna push in, and the dirt's gonna push out, and hopefully I will not need any more nails unless I just feel like it. So I'm not sure how much, I'll let you know at the end how much of 2 yards of this stuff that I actually used in here. I'm thinking about putting a little extra in, because I know when it rains and over the winter it's gonna shrink down a lot. A couple notes on the materials I'm using. The 2 by 6 by 10s, they just happen to be spare laying around that I had. They're untreated. That's just an organic type of thing. They say that using treated wood isn't the worst in the world. You can replace those with railroad ties, which I believe are 6 by 6, which would give me about the same height on my raised bed, which is, these are 2 by 6s. So I'm getting about a foot off the ground. It would be the same with railroad ties. These stakes that I have right here, there we go, focus in. A lot of people I see just use pieces of rebar, which are going to be cheaper, and I've got a couple pieces of rebar as well, and I'll probably go around and reinforce it with the rebar. So that's what I'm using, or things you could possibly use to build your bed. I put my dog in the back of the truck so that I can have one segment in peace here. We'll go over here and check it out. It takes a lot of effort to clear 2 yards out of the back of a truck, so make sure you got your energy saved. As you can see, we're all cleaned out, and 2 yards just about fills up a 5 by 10 by 1 foot tall raised bed. Now I did find a couple of these. This is the rebar, if you don't know what that is. A couple of these pieces of rebar. They're about 1.5 feet long. I'll probably add those just for a little extra support and just just because they're old rusty and I got them laying around. I'll try and put together a price list, see how much this would cost to build from scratch. It's autumn right now, that'll go down. We're going to put leaves and probably a little bit of manure and compost in there as well over the winter as we come across it. It's autumn right now. You can see the trees starting to change. Today's October 13th. And we're making this bed for our spring vegetables. So hopefully it brings us a lot of good food. Now hold on one second and I'll try and get the price list of this raised bed. So that's it. That's how I made my raised garden bed. You'll probably see some more of it in some more videos coming up on my spring garden.